Hi everybody, welcome to another video. Fun fact actually, I just tried recording this and it turned out I had not been recording, which is a little funny. I was a little frustrated at first, but it lets me clarify some things a little better, like, talk better, all that good stuff. So, I want to preface this with what I actually tried to end off the last time I tried recording this with, um, which is about the situation from yesterday. Reviewing it in my brain, I haven't watched back what I said or anything, but just thinking about it a little bit deeper and trying to think about it humbly. There's definitely an aspect of me that is acting in pride, um, just on the basis of like, oh hey, I've been slighted wrongfully, this and that. I'm upset about it. Um, and then there is also the secondary reality of like, it was an unjust thing and it is an unjust thing, but why would I linger on that whenever all it does is serve to cause me to act in my own pride? So what I'll be doing about it is praying on it, putting it in the Lord's hands, and letting Him do His work through it, because there's nothing more for me to do. I'm never a fan of like saying that, because I always like to try and do something, but it's important that I get used to being able to say that. Now, onto the main meat and potatoes of this video. Probably what the title's about. I'm not sure, I haven't really thought of a title yet. I kind of do it as I'm uploading. But regardless of that, onto the main meat and potatoes of this. Um, yeah, issues with lust. And this is a video that I have debated making, a thing I've debated putting out, because there's people I know who I'm close with, who I'm pretty close with, who watch these videos sometimes. Just today I was talking to my buddy Luis about this channel. I didn't even know he knew about it. I had forgotten that I uploaded my testimony video on my main channel, and that now anybody can just find this if they know me. So, but I was just talking to him about this channel today at church. So, there's a level of stress that comes along with this, but there's also a level of it's good for me to do this, because it's a good way for me to not necessarily confess, but bring to light issues I'm having in a form of confession. It's not like face to face, but it is just like a thing of like, yeah, this is what I'm struggling with, this is what I'm going through. So, yeah, lust. It's been a fight recently, actually. Quite a bit this week. I was doing good last week, and I want to clarify that the way I say that is I was doing good. Because that's how I was thinking about it. I'm doing good at this. The focus was more on me and what I was able to do rather than on God and what He was doing in my heart. So, with the fact that I'm struggling so much more this week than the past few weeks, and that it is such a hard thing this week, and something that I've been falling to repeatedly. Um, I think there's two things going on here. One is that there is seeds that have been planted from my past actions that are now coming up and now have taken some form of root in certain things, because no matter what we do, we plant seeds, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But there's seeds that I've planted from past sin and past sinful actions that are being grown because of my thinking of, yeah, I'm the one doing good, which is a prideful way of thinking. Instead, I should have been accrediting it to God. Um, and then, even furthermore, God is humbling me with this. He's showing me, like, hey, I need to get out of the mindset of I'm the one doing good, and I need to start giving Him the credit whenever I'm not struggling with sin as much. Because it is to Him that I am, it is to His power that I can do good works. That's what I'm trying to say. Which include not falling to lust. Um, yeah, so there was that bit. And then I do have a little bit to say on the verse that talks about, if your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. If your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out. And obviously, it's metaphorical, but I would only say it's half metaphorical. And furthermore, on top of that, I would say that there's another level that most people kind of don't realize is there to those verses. Um, and this is just from what I've seen in my research and my connection making. I could be wrong. I would like to think I'm not, but if anybody has opposing viewpoints, I'd love to hear it. So, obviously metaphorical. Whatever's causing you to sin, get rid of it, right? Like your hand isn't the issue here, it's what you're taking in. But also, it's not metaphorical, because if it is your hand actually causing you to sin, like the hand itself, that specific body part that is causing you to sin, cut it away, right? And I would argue that God would give you kudos for taking such drastic action to follow Him, to please Him, and to not sin against Him and others. And that's why I say it's not metaphorical at the same time. Like, if it truly is your hand causing you to sin, do cut it off and you will be doing a good work, because that is a good work done by faith if you're doing it by faith. Now here's the part that I see in it, is that nothing forces us to sin, right? Like, I'm not forced to do anything I don't want to do when I fall to sin, and that doesn't mean that I like to sin, or that I necessarily want to be looking at like pornography. But what I mean by that is that I'm not being forced to. No one is taping my eyes open and saying, you have to watch this. No one is putting a gun to my head and saying, you're going to watch this or you're going to die. Or putting a gun to my family's heads and saying, you're going to watch this or they're going to die. No one's doing that, right? It's all my own actions. So I would argue that the thing that causes us to sin is our flesh falling into this temptation. For the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Right? That was something that Jesus said to, I believe it was the man asking him to heal his son who was afflicted with a demon, and the other disciples couldn't do it. And the man says, if you are able to. And Jesus says, if I am able to? What do you mean, if? Do you not have faith? And the man says, no, you are able to. I'm sorry. No, wait, I could be wrong. I am wrong. Okay, forgive me. I got that wrong. It's when Jesus is in the garden, Gethsemane, I believe it is, and he's with the disciples, and he's telling them to stay awake. For the flesh is willing, but the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. That's what it was. Forgive me for that one. Sometimes things get a little muddled, but yeah, that was when Jesus is in the garden. Anyway, the flesh is weak, right? Like, in my spirit, I am in anguish because I keep falling into sexual sin. But my flesh is weak in that I keep falling to sexual sin. My spirit is in anguish and it longs to do the work that God has set out for it to do. But I am not able to do that work because I am not a good man. I've never been good. No one is ever good, but I am not good either. Like, all I can do of my own accord is sin. I wouldn't even be doing God's will. I wouldn't even be uploading this video if it were according to my will and according to my flesh. Yeah. So, I'm going to come back to what I was talking about previously about the seeds thing. Everything we do plants a seed. And we're not the only ones who plants seeds. We're seeds planted by God. which is fun to think about because it's like, yes, we're tools that God uses to spread His word, but we're also seeds that God uses because He's always growing us. He's always doing work in us. That way we may do His work better and bear more fruit, right? He prunes the fruitful branches so they may bear more fruit. Um, but to add to that, we're not the only ones who plant seeds. Obviously, God plants seeds, but the demons plant seeds as well, right? Like there's most likely not a specific demon or demons afflicting me with this because they don't need to. They themselves do not need to be there in the midst of it, causing me to see this, putting stumbling blocks in front of me. All they need to do is put the little seeds into the ad streams that I get, right? Put the little seeds into my explore page, like one little thumbnail that catches my eye in the wrong way, and boom, they've gotten me ensnared, right? And so it's just the same as when we do good works, we plant good seeds, and they're seeds that bear God's fruit, and they're seeds that bear good fruit. But when we sin, we plant bad seeds. We plant sinful seeds that bear nothing good. And we plant seeds that all the purpose of them is to follow our will and to cause sin. So it is one of those things where it's like, I have planted a lot of seeds, and now I'm starting to see the effects of the planting that I've done, both in good ways and bad ways. Like, I'm starting a nonprofit next month. That's good. I'm starting a new job. That's good, right? Those are good seeds that I've planted and that God has been watering, and that He's been having me also partake in watering in, but He's also been growing. Um, and then there are bad seeds that I have planted, ones that I've planted in the midst of sin because I sin. I go and I sin and I do things that are against God's will, against God, because that's what sin is. It's against God. So I do things that are against God, and then I plant seeds that are against God and against what He would have for me. And those will also arguably have a time and season to grow. They are natural consequences to my actions. Like, it never has to be that something supernatural is happening to force me to fall into sin. Yes, we fight a spiritual battle. We do not fight a physical battle, but also that battle is against ourselves. We have to die to ourselves every day. So when I say that, these are seeds that I've planted from when I was a newer believer, or even more recently when I've been falling, it's like these are seeds that I've planted, and they're seeds that will continue to try to take root and try to grow, whether they be shallow roots or not. They will try. Um, and what matters in that part is that I don't give them any handhold or foothold inside of my heart. That my flesh heart, my heart of flesh, would not be a suitable ground for these seeds to grow, but that the word would overtake it. And the way you do that is you read a lot of the word. Who would have thought, the way to drown out sin with the word is by the word. But what I'm trying to get at is that no one has ever forced me into sinning. I do that myself. But I cannot hold myself in condemnation. I cannot say, "Oh, I'm such a terrible, terrible person, such a terrible, terrible sinner." Even though I am, those are not thoughts I should be lingering on, because all they will do is force me into the condemnation mindset. And not even force, because I'm the one who's put myself in it. But all they serve to do is to make me fall into condemnation and to make me think that I am beyond saving, which is not true. If you're saved, you're saved. Right? Like, once you're saved, you're not losing your salvation. God's not going to take away that gift. because it's a gift, but it's a free gift, and even more, it's a gift that God gives. Yeah, I said that freely. So if I can be struggling with all these sins and falling into them all the time like this, and I know I'm not condemned to hell because God still is with me and God still cares about me and He's still working in my life, right? Have hope for yourself if you're going through something similar. Have hope that God will be continuing to build you and grow you, because He will be if you are saved. He won't leave you in the dark, He won't abandon you. Even if He sounds quiet, He isn't. You just can't hear Him because you're wrapped up in yourself. So that's it for this video today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. I will talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful evening, day, night, whatever time it is. God bless.